So we are doing 3D flowers today, and before you apply your 3D flowers, you want to make sure that you apply your top coat. So that's what I'm doing, and then I'm going to cure this for 60 seconds. And you guys can use any color. In this video I'm just using red, and I'm using white acrylic powder, but you can use any colored acrylic powder you have. And then I'm just grabbing my monomer. You don't need a lot, so I'm not filling up my jar. And you need a small brush like this. This is a number 4. I think I got this from Amazon. And I'm gonna go ahead and dip my brush as usual, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a small bead using just the tip of my brush. And when I apply it, you guys will see that it is dry, so this gives me room to make it to wet the bead and have it at a right consistency. And then the trick is to leave this alone. Once it's wet enough and it's the perfect round size bead, just leave it alone and make another bead next to it. So the trick really when making a 3D flower is to visualize how you want your flowers to be. So again, here the bead is dry, gives me some room to wet the bead, and that's just what I'm doing. So now we're gonna go ahead and mold our petals, and as you guys can see, the bead is wet, so I'm continuously drying my brush to absorb some of that monomer back into the brush. But you don't want your brush to be too dry, so add a little bit of monomer. And then the brush is at a certain angle, as you guys can see here, it's facing down, and you're literally only using the tip of your brush to create that petal. And you don't want to add too much pressure because it will flatten the petal, so just add the slightest, play around with it. So as you guys can see, I'm literally adding the slightest amount of pressure. And then I'm seeing that the two petals are connected, so I don't like that. We're gonna go ahead and fix that. And we're just gonna separate it using the tip of our brush again, and just molding it in how we want it to look. So don't be afraid when you make a mistake, you can easily fix it. Also, the tip of your brush will give that realistic look. As you guys can see here, those lines will make it look so realistic. And then we're going to go ahead and apply our third petal. And again, you have to visualize how you want your flowers to sit on the nail before you apply any petals at all. So here I know that I wanted the flower to be right by the cuticle area, so that's where I placed all my petals. But you have to visualize it, because it might, sometimes it might look weird how you place your flowers, so just keep that in mind. So as you guys can see here that I made a mistake. The bead is too small, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab me a small little bead to add onto that bead. And if you feel like you made a mistake, it's fine. Everything is fixable. Like this one that I'm about to fix is dripping down. All I had to do is go back and mold it in how I wanted the petals to look. So there's no mistake that you cannot fix. Everything is fixable. So now we're doing our last petal for this flower, and again, just take your time, make sure that the bead is at a right consistency. And here, it's not the perfect bead, but again, all you gotta do is just go back and kind of mold it how you want it to be. Everything is moldable when is that a word, moldable? When it's like at a right consistency. If it's too wet, you can't mold it. You're just gonna make a hot mess. If it's too dry, it's just gonna move around. So it's the key is the right consistency of the bead and the right pressure and the right amount of monomer in your brush. Okay, so now we're gonna make a leaf. I'm gonna show you guys how to make a leaf or leaves. So again, same routine, grab our bead, apply it where the client wants it or where you want it. Make sure that it's at the right consistency, it's not too dry or not too wet. And then once it's at the right consistency, we're gonna go ahead and split that in half and drag it down so it can look like a teardrop bead. And then once that's done, we're gonna go ahead and start molding our leaf. And you just want to make sure that you have a vision of what you want your leaf to look like. So here I'm just splitting it down again in the middle and then making sure that I'm keeping that teardrop shape, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make realistic lines on the side. So here I just want to show you guys that if you are having a hard time making lines, you can use a cuticle pusher and make those lines as well. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to show you guys that you can combine a leaf and flower petals as well. I've seen this all over Instagram. I'm sure you guys have too. So pretty much you do the same routine, and again, the placement of each petal or each bead is very important, so you have enough space for all of this 3D artwork. So once you're done, this is the part where you can add gems or rhinestones. I'm adding rhinestones for this video, and I'm just using my regular rhinestone glue, adding my rhinestone. And again, you know, you ask your client what kind of rhinestone they want or whatever. And here for the big one, since I have so many space, I decided to do like a clutter look. So I'm just putting as many as I can to fit in there to cover this spot. So again, just a friendly reminder that you do your 3D flowers after the top coat, after you apply your top coat, because once you put this in the light and cure, that's it, they're done, and you are finished. And that's it. So you guys should have something like this, and I hope you guys learned a lot, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.